Sinners is out in theaters, latest film from Ryan Coogler, known for Creed and both Black Panther movies. This stars Michael B. Jordan, Miles Catton, Jack O'Connell, Delroy Lindo, Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Mosaku. It's a horror film taking place in 1932 in the Mississippi Delta. Twin brothers Smoke and Stack come back to their small hometown after years of gangstering away in Chicago. They come with money and an idea. They open a black music club with drinks, food, live music, and dancing. But when their young, talented cousin plays the blues on the opening night, he taps into this magical elemental force that channels spirits of the past and future. But this performance also gets the attention of someone very evil who shows up right after. So, very original premise, very cool setting, incredibly cool atmosphere with the blues music permeating almost every scene. The film has had a fantastic opening weekend in the US and a lot of praise from critics and audiences alike. For myself, I have to say I enjoyed it rather a lot, although by the end the movie did show some flaws as well that just about prevented it from staying great all the way through. So as far as what I liked, I mentioned the setup. I think the story is great and I loved how the characters are cleverly written and capable, and they do pick up on what's going on relatively fast. I think the script is superbly efficient at introducing and weaving these characters through the film in the first act. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the film, as we get to know all these people and they sort of come together slowly. There is some fine acting here. Michael B. Jordan has strong screen presence as always. Haley Steinfeld is unbelievably sexy, even though she's basically fully dressed throughout the entire film. Miles Catton is the surprise newcomer. It's his first film, but right from the beginning his deep voice is something that really stands out. I liked how the movie looks. It was shot on film with IMAX cameras, and I believe it's the first ever movie shot with IMAX cameras with a female cinematographer. And you know, having it shot on this format really shows. It really looks quite beautiful. I like how it sounds. The music is exactly my type of jam, and it was a bit of a surprise to find out that the score was written by none other than Ludwig Göransson, who is, of course, Ryan Coogler's frequent collaborator. But you know, and it was strange because he's from Scandinavia, but apparently his father sort of ingrained in him the love for blues music from a very early age, so he's got sort of a connection and a background there. I like the costumes, the production design, most of the editing, and I have to mention the blues song scene, which is quite possibly the best moment of the film. Long tracking shot, tons of various dancers in unique costumes, the blending of various genres of music, just superb sequence. However, what I didn't like is the final act of the film, where I think the movie gets a little bit silly and goes off the rails. I mean, it is meant to be a fairly simple film, not a highly complex work of art, but come on, the big fight scene at the end, it is just kind of stupid in terms of the logistics. And then the movie gets incredibly self-indulgent with how it refuses to end. There's a moment where Sammy gets into the church, which is the scene the movie opens with as a sort of flashback, and I thought, okay, that's a neat way to bookend the film if you ended right where you begun it. But then there's this long drawn out final scene with Smoke at the sawmill, which, you know, I get it must be cathartic for black audiences, but I felt it was put there just for that reason. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of the film. And then there's some more with Sammy, and then the credits roll, but you have this long mid-credits scene, which to me was just Coogler getting really far up his own ass. It felt so on the nose and so unnecessary to me. I mean, cut that out and you have a much stronger film that ends well. As it is, unfortunately, a good 15 minutes at the end just feels like it's overstaying its welcome, and it did bring down my overall enjoyment of it. I do think, you know, especially black audiences will probably react more positively to it all. For me, it did end up being a little flawed, but overall, for most of the film, I have to admit I did enjoy myself quite a lot, and I think it's a decent flick overall.